Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Pauline Hilly, and today, as part of our celebration for women in science, I have the pleasure of interviewing a young scientist from Zaynab Rashid. Hi, Zaynab.
Hi, Pauline. It's great to be here and great to be talking as part of something very big, women in science. Yeah,
Excellent. So, Zaynab, can you tell us a little bit about your background and your academic career, please?
yeah, of course. So I have a real interest in biology and in medical research, and I completed my degree in biomedical science last year. So as part of that degree, I had some experience doing my own research into blood sciences, which is kind of where my interest lies. So, for example, my project was on how COVID-19 affects blood coagulation. And I found that super interesting. And it's inspired me to want to pursue a career in hematological research in the future. And since my degree, I've had some experience in medical labs as a technician, using some of the skills I learned during my degree, and also working at quality control here at Nourish.
Lovely. And so, tell me, what first inspired you to be a scientist? Where can you remember when the spark happened?
So I think it was more of a gradual thing for me. I mean, I've always had a mind for kind of rationalizing and making sense of the world around me. So naturally, science was my favorite subject in school, biology in particular. And so when it came time to consider what I wanted to do in the future, it just made sense to choose something a bit more science based, particularly a branch of biomedicine, which allows me to fulfill my own curiosity driven mind while benefiting the lives of others. Yeah.
Excellent. And tell us a little bit about your degree. Was there any highlights, any any areas where you thought, "Oh, wow, this is really inspirational"?
Yeah, I think just my projects in particular, um, it was around surrounding a topic very like hot and very current, COVID-19. I was doing my degree as that was happening. And learning about how the vaccine had some negative effects on people, I thought there's a problem there. There must be a solution. And so that was the inspiration for my undergraduate project and the inspiration that kind of drives me to pursuing blood sciences in the future.
Excellent. I'm
Yeah.
really fascinated to see and hear and watch how that evolves. And Zainab, it's so
Yeah.
exciting to be really part of your journey as well. Was there in your sort of pre-university years, was there either a teacher or a school or something that really sparked the flame in terms of your interest?
Well, I think I had I had the pleasure of having a lot of good teachers who made learning science really fun and interesting and always encouraged my enthusiasm. So my science teachers. Being a curious young scientist, I was always the one asking a lot of questions and pestering my teachers after class. But I'm very thankful that they made me feel comfortable enough to ask these questions. And they were a really good support system to allow me to reach where I am now. Yeah,
That's wonderful. And we met,
we
what?
did.
Must have been a long time ago now, and
Yeah.
that was, can you remember where that was?
So that was, I think I was volunteering for the UCL Herbal Medicine Workshop, and I saw you there, and I was really inspired. And I think the school arranged for me to come and meet you at the factory, in which it was really cool to meet you there. Yeah,
That's great. Well, it's been really great I know that everyone in our team thinks you're wonderful, and it's really lovely for you to be a part of our journey while you're pursuing your, your, I suppose, if you like, your postgraduate now career. Tell me a little bit. Did you encounter any obstacles along the way? Anything where you could share with any young women wanting to young girls wanting to go into science? Is there anything where you have got some tips about dealing with things along the way?
yeah. I think being a woman in a very historically male-dominated field, you can kind of lack a bit of courage sometimes to reach out or ask questions. So back in college, I was also very hesitant to, you know, reach out for experiences like shadowing or internships. And I always felt like I was underqualified or didn't have the courage to apply. So in a way, I was my own obstacle. But I think, you know, through my degree, I realized my potential and I realized how much I love, working in a lab and how capable I am of producing good work. And I think that helped me gain some more confidence in taking opportunities as and when they come. So if you're a young woman who wants to be a scientist, take those opportunities. Don't have any fear or any kind of reservations about it. Because if I can, then you can.
That's great. That's really great advice. I think, and I think I absolutely agree with you, Zainab. I think you must. I mean, as an Australian, we're always told to have a go. So I think having a go, particularly when you're a scientist, for me, one of the things I think about science is that repetition and being able to reproduce results and being prepared to do an experiment hundreds of thousands of times sometimes to get a result is part of what makes you a great scientist, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it requires a lot of patience, but a lot of perseverance as well. But that just makes it all the more kind of gratifying when you get those results. Yeah.
Yes. And is there any particular piece of equipment that you love using or any particular experiment that you really, really liked? Was this something that was like,
It's going to sound very strange, but working with blood, of course, for my project, I had to use platelets. So, kind of using the centrifuge and seeing visually the different aspects of blood and breaking that apart, I just thought was very cool. But I think it's always really cool to learn how new equipment works and how it can make things easier and more convenient for scientists. There's always that kind of technological advancement that you can see happening.
it's
Yeah.
very exciting. I can remember as an early stage scientist, and again, for any young people out there who are thinking about becoming a scientist, one of the things that I remember so clearly in one of my early stages is being scared of the equipment. And
Yeah.
it's so nice when you sort of stay calm and then you become friends with the
Yeah.
equipment. In this case, it was a
Yeah.
lot of mass chromatography and understanding how it worked, and then that piece of equipment becomes, almost an ally in your search to discover some results.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent. And tell us a little bit about your role at Nourish. Do you enjoy that, and how has that helped you in your journey along to during your academic process, and also now that you've graduated, you work with us. You've worked with us probably for the best part of 6, 7 years now on a.
On and off. Yeah. Yeah. So my current role at Nourish is quality control based, but that's very broad and it spans, all aspects of the company. And I have had the opportunity to, be in the cosmetics lab, hands-on using equipment like pipettes and all the sort and formulating products. And I think that's my favorite thing, of course, being a science-minded person. And I really love the kind of achievement, the sense of achievement in making a successful batch and, knowing that your efforts were reciprocated in making a good product. And also, something really useful is understanding what good laboratory practice looks like. I participate and I observe at Nourish, and I think that's very useful. And I've learned a lot, which will help me in future work in medical labs.
Excellent. Yeah, it's always good to get a little bit of practice in a laboratory
Yeah,
setting, isn't it? Um,
for
and,
example.
and finally, Zainab, can you tell us a little bit about what your future aspirations are? And you're a scientist who's Newham based. What would you ideally like to do, sort of in the next stages?
Mhm. So I'm currently in the process of applying for the NHS Chartered Scientist Training Program. Now that I have my degree, I'm going through that process. And this training course is something that I really set my goal on because it combines the kind of hospital based lab work with academic work and also patient facing. So it spans all aspects of what a scientist would want to do. And as I mentioned before, hematology is the discipline that I am aiming to get a position for. And transfusion science that kind of interests me. So I hope to finish the course and become a clinical scientist in the NHS.
Oh, how wonderful. Well, we here at Nourish wish you the best of luck with that, Zaynab. Thank you ever so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing how the story unfolds. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with any young scientist?
I think, I'm just one example of many, and women in particular. We live in a time now where there's so much opportunity, and that's on the backs of all the women that came before us who, carved this path for us to make it easy. I have had minor obstacles, but no major obstacles. And I think you just need to have the courage to pursue your interest and trust that you'll be rewarded for your efforts. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Zaynab.
Yeah. Thank you.